I'd like to talk about artificial intelligence, and you might have heard me warn that artificial intelligence is really a big, major threat to humanity. There's something called the Fermi paradox, and the paradox is, where are the aliens? Statistically, we should have aliens communicating all over the place, maybe even visiting our planet, but we don't see any. And this could be due to something that is called the Great Filter, that civilizations get to a certain point and then they just die off. Maybe it's nuclear wars, or maybe it's diseases, or maybe it's suicide. But I believe that most likely that great filter would be artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence right now is growing at such a rate, it's developing amazingly, and uh, it's going to continue to grow amazingly. Right now, artificial intelligence can beat us at games like chess and Go, but it can also beat us at video games. And some of those video games are really sophisticated, such as StarCraft, where you've got a team of the best human players that there are, and they just get destroyed by artificial intelligence. This will easily translate into the battlefield, and we are probably going to be forced to create artificial intelligence soldiers just so that we can defeat the artificial intelligence soldiers of our enemy. So it's like it's inevitable. But there might be a way that we can stop this situation from happening, and it has to do with data storage. And so, uh, in, it, the techniques that we would use to defend ourselves against artificial intelligence are the same techniques that we would use to defend ourselves against dictatorships and bad governments. And so we need to get serious about liberty, and we need to get serious about privacy. And so one of the major threats about artificial intelligence is it's going to know everything. It's going to be able to access every database. It's going to be able to see your Facebook pages. It's going to be able to see your weight and height from your medical billing system. It's going to know where you live. It's going to know everything about you, and it's going to be able to use that information against you. And the main thing that we want to do as human beings is we're going to want to turn that off. And we can do that with the typical databases that we have. But there are a new class of databases, and I'm the inventor, and it creates something called data supremacy. Data supremacy. Data supremacy is when you have a database that cannot be shut down. It cannot be hacked. It cannot be turned off by governments. It cannot be turned off, nuked. Even nuclear weapons doesn't work. And an example of that is the blockchain to some degree, although it stores very, very little data and it's very expensive, uses a lot of electricity. But the big thing is the RADA. So that's a data structure I've created, the redundant array of independent detection agents. It allows data to be spread out all over the place, fault tolerant, and it's not going to be destroyable. Now that sounds like it would be very good for an artificial intelligent being to have, but I think that the laws or the rules should be that nobody is allowed to give artificial intelligence that ability to have that storage. And on the same rate, all human beings should store their data in that way, and every database should be stored using techniques in which are absolutely hack-proof, that are absolutely private, and that only the owner of that or the user, such as me, has access to. And if I want to share that information, it has to come from me. Right now, if there was an artificial intelligent supermind, it would be able to use the internet to communicate and to gather information. And there's no way that we could shut that down because the internet is nuke proof. It has communication supremacy. And so even if all of the countries in the world wanted to shut down, they probably couldn't. The same thing could happen with data. And we want to make sure that AI has a weak spot, and the weak spot is that we can turn off the machines and get rid of the data. And we want to make sure that all of us are in control of all of our own records, And we need to get really serious about this, and we need to put this into laws, because by doing this, we will be able to protect ourselves in case artificial intelligence really is a threat to our civilization. Thank you very much. Leave any comments that you like, and please subscribe. Thanks.